Hello everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're all well and thank you so much to those of you that are new here and just joining me. I'm nearly on 3,000 subscribers. When I get to 3,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. Please listen to one of my previous videos about the giveaway. But if you're interested in one of my macrame hangers, please let me know because I'm going to be sending some around the world. I hand make them and really they're suitable for people who've got indoor plants, and I don't want to cause you extra clutter in your house that you don't want. So if you're interested, then please comment. Now don't please forget that everything in the month of November is anything that I make for my channel is being donated to a charity that helps people that kind of have had a bit of a rough time. So it might be somebody who's having financial difficulties, struggling to buy a uniform, wanting to go into college but maybe can't pay for the books, and just giving people a helping hand. They support people with counselling, they get involved in food banks and actually give food out on a certain day each week in the centre of Norwich to homeless people. So it does do a massive amount of good in our Norfolk community and in Norwich, the city in Norfolk. So anything that we make from the channel will be going to that charity. Now you can help by every time you comment on my video, you change the algorithms. So if you comment on my video, if you like my video, even if you just comment to say, "Hi Emma," anything that you do like that, if you watch an old video, if you watch the video for a little bit longer and watch one of the adverts, that will all help. I'm hoping that we can raise more than £100. That is what I would absolutely love. Now, I didn't want to really sort of talk about money because I think it's a bit of an awkward thing to talk about and many YouTubers don't seem to talk about it, but a couple of people commented about it and asked. And that is what I'd like to do. I'd like us to be able to raise more than £100, and then when I give it to the charity, I'll ask them to send me an email to confirm receipt of it, and then I shall put that on my channel. So a variety of things in this video. So you can see that I'm still on with the kitchen. I'm not giving up on the kitchen, although saying that, and what always happens is towards the end of the week, the kitchen does get a bit of a muddle. And that's because I work on Tuesday evenings, but I do work in the day. Then Wednesday I do some work in the day, but I'm out with guides on Wednesday evening. And then Thursday I work and Friday I work. And I have to keep telling myself, if I've worked all day and I'm working in the evening or I'm at guides in the evening, I cannot also be doing washing up. Now I've got some good news that I need to tell you, a couple of pieces of good news. So I'm gonna share that with you on this video. But before I do that, I wanted to let you know about a conversation I had with my husband about moving the washing machine. So I've got into my head that if we block the back door, so we're next to where my outside toilet is, if we block the back door, if we take the door off the toilet, we could turn it into like utility stroke washing room. So like in Italy, washing machines are commonly in bathrooms and in downstairs toilets. So I figured we could tile it all, have the washing machine in there. So I mentioned that to my husband and he never, ever, ever uses that back door, okay? That big door in the kitchen, he never uses that to go out, to the outside. It's only me that uses that door. So I said to him what I was thinking about, and then I thought a dishwasher could go where my washing machine is. So he said, no, it won't fit. So we did all the measurements. It would fit, but it would mean there wasn't a massive space to get past the washing machine into the toilet. So he said, no, that wouldn't work. And I said, but you don't use that toilet and you never go outside of that door. So the only problem it's going to be for is me. I'm the only one that's actually going to use it. Oh, no, I don't think that'll work. I was like, I really, really would like a dishwasher. So he said, well, so what you're thinking about is putting half a dishwasher here and a cupboard. I said, no, I don't want half a dishwasher. What do you all think? I want a full-size dishwasher, don't I? I was thinking I don't want half a dishwasher. So then we had this conversation about how much washing up there is and how much time I spend washing up. And of course, my husband does washing up as well, but I tend to do the bulk of the washing up. Usually wash up at least twice a day. And the amount of time, as you've all told me, if I sort of worked out how much time I'm spending, I think I need a full-size dishwasher. And then I guess I'd put it on, twice a day? Would I put it on every other day? Or would I put it on once a day? I'm not really sure. So you can see I do quite a lot in the kitchen. And I also managed to do quite a lot in the lounge. I had this feeling that the lounge was things were starting to accumulate and that was starting to get untidy again. On reflection, when people came around my house at bonfire night, I suddenly realised that we didn't have to do a grand tidy up like we always used to have to do. We just did a kind of very small sweep round, make sure everything's all okay, as opposed to a kind of a massive sort out, you know, everybody trying to sort the house for a day. Well, in reality, not my daughter, but she used to join in when we had people come around. And I thought, that's how good is that? I just had to do a little bit of sorting round and tidying up, but not some massive great tidy up. So I told you that I've got some good news. So I've got a couple of bits of good news. So the first thing, for those of you that have been following me a while, well, actually for both pieces of good news, for those of you who have been following me a while, you will know all about this. So the first is work-wise. So I have my primary job, and then I have my secondary job that I sometimes talk about in terms of supporting learners and running workshops, that sort of thing. Then I also do my poll clerk job, but that's only once a year usually-ish, depending upon elections. And then I do my invigilating job, so I do the work with exams. And then I've got my own business. And then obviously I've got YouTube, which is one of my hobbies. Now you'll know with the invigilating, I've now done invigilating for 3 years, I think it's 3. And the last year I fitted it in, but boy, it was really was a juggle. It doesn't really pay that well, and I have to drive there and drive back, and it's not like on my doorstep. It's not like I can just walk around the corner to the school. And the last time it was, I did feel a bit like a headless chicken, because I was doing work for job 1, doing work for job 2, and then driving to the school, doing say 2 hours invigilating, and then going to pick my daughter up. It just felt like I was here, there and everywhere. So you'll remember a couple of videos ago, I said, oh, what do people think about that? What are your all views? So I've given it a lot of thought, a lot of consideration, and talked to my husband about it. And I have talked to some family members about it, but I have decided not to do the invigilating job. Now that means I had to tell them now, because although all the exams don't start quite yet, obviously they've got resits, and then there'll be exams from like sort of February time. So I think the resits are fairly soon. But I needed to tell them because I've got safeguarding training and prevent training, hours and hours and hours of training. And the lady had messaged me and said, had I been able to do my safeguarding training? So I emailed and said, I'm very sorry for this time, I'm not going to be in a position to do the invigilating. But please, could she keep my name on the list? So I put, I hope you're well. I don't think I'm going to be able to do any invigilating this year, I'm afraid. However, please, could you keep me on your list for next year? Best wishes. And she came back and said, oh no, Emma, that's such a pity. Of course I will. Have you something nice planned? And I haven't yet replied to that. Because it's not that I've got something nice planned. It's not like that I'm going off for like, I don't know, the next 6 months travelling Asia or going to visit all of you. It's not like that I've got anything like that planned. It's just the logistics of it all. And then when you also think about, for all of the effort and the here, there and everywhere, and it's actually not, well-paid job. So she's going to keep me on the list, and, maybe I'll do it next year. We'll just see. But that means that I don't have to fit that training in. I don't have to think anything more about it. The other really good news is, I did all that work for my camping license. I spent hours, days of my life on that. I passed everything, and I got my certificate, and I got a badge, and I got presented it on Wednesday night. So all that hard work I put in, I got my award, which was really nice. I was pleased about that. Only bad thing is, in relation to my volunteering work with Girl Guides, is that, I never got round to doing one of the pieces of training that I needed to do. A new program's come out, and because one of the modules is expired, now you've got to do 3. You've got to do 3 modules, and they said that they're streamlining things and making things easy. I don't understand how that's streamlining and making things easy. 1 module expires, and then they make you do 3 of them. So I'm going to have to fit that in, but I cannot do it because it's a new module. I cannot do it until the 3rd of December. So I've got a little bit of time where I don't have to think about that. So you know how I've had 2 weeks off on holiday. Spent some time in London and done some other things related to like bonfire and Halloween, and spent time with family going different places, which was really nice. I've just gone back to work, and boy, has everything just like hit me. There's loads of things that have been waiting for me to come back rather than other people kind of picking things up. They've waited for me because they knew I was, Emma's back soon. And then I've got loads of learners that are now going towards their final assessment, some of which are suddenly need to be completed urgently. And all my learners have decided to submit loads of work while I was on leave. So I've got piles and piles of marking. So I worked today in job number 1. Although I had about an hour where I did some work for job number 2. And then as soon as my daughter was in bed and sort of settled, my husband was out tonight at a meeting, but as soon as my daughter was settled, I've then been working. So I do feel a little bit like I'm starting to get square eyes, but not long till the weekend. And I'm looking forward, we've not got that much booked at the weekend. It's going to be Remembrance Sundays coming up. So we will be all taking the girls and all be wearing uniform and taking all the flags into the church, which is nice for the girls and a nice service for me to attend. But we don't have lots of other things organised, so hopefully it'll be quite relaxing. Now, I've talked quite a long time and I've not gone through any of your comments yet. So thank you so much for those of you that make comments on my channel. I love reading the comments. I love reading all your different ideas. And it's really nice how some of you comment on each other's comments. Next comment is from Lizzie, William Hawthorne 1375. And Lizzie says, "Oh, Emma, I laughed my socks off watching you stuffing everything into the cupboards in the loft." What was really funny was I read that in the evening, and I was getting ready for bed. And I looked at my phone when that came through, and I read that to my husband because that really made me chuckle. Because I suddenly saw it from a different perspective. Like I'm trying to declutter everything, and there I am with the Christmas cupboard, literally shoehorning everything back in. So that made your comment made me smile. Lizzie says, "You talked about hoarding tendencies, which does seem so sometimes. I do wonder while watching you handle your clothes over and over, never finding room for them, and end up shoving them into drawers. You have too much, Emma. Your life will become much less tiresome if you get to grips with this. I do feel for you." Now, I do agree on some of those things, Lizzie, but I don't agree that I've got too many clothes. I've hardly got any clothes. And do you know how you can tell that I've hardly got any clothes? You look at my videos and take little notice of like what I'm wearing. If you take a little notice of what I'm wearing, you'll see that I wear a jumper goes in the wash. I wear the same jumper, goes in the wash, and repeat. I've hardly got anything. But what you're seeing me do is, in the bedroom, I've got 2 drawers for my clothing storage. Now, I don't want to have to get up in the morning and go downstairs and choose something to wear. So I try to, shove it all in. Shove it all in those 2 drawers, so I don't have to go hunting for something to wear in the mornings. And my husband's got 2 drawers under his side of the bed. And then we do have 4, no, I'm just looking. We do have 3 drawers in another little chest of drawers, which is all fitted in the roof, because as you know, it's a loft conversion. The problem with that is it's full of books. So as I was saying to someone else, I need to get the books out, put the books somewhere else or get rid of the books, and then I can put certain things in those drawers. So like maybe my exercise clothes or things that I don't wear that often. Or so I've got some big like fleeces and jumpers. They could go there. Next comment is from Casey625. Emma, you are the hardest worker, bless you. There seems to be a fear of letting go of your belongings. I have it too. Before you think I'm having a go. The problem is we live in the West, as we in the West have too much and way more than what we will ever need. The really successful decluttering channels are those where the person begins with only their own belongings and the things their children has outgrown. After considerable time, the rest of the family come on board as they see the house improving. Always start with yourself. You are the leading example to your daughter and husband. You are the keeper of the home, and they will follow. That's a very interesting post. The good thing is that my daughter is quite happy to get rid of loads of things. Lizzie does reply to that post and she says, good advice. Start by putting outfits together and you will soon realise when your drawers are tidily stacked and close comfortably, Emma. And your wardrobe clothes hang with room to breathe. When the clothes you have thinned out are gone, you will forget all about them. And you will have far less work to do. And you can start all over again on your daughter. So that's something to look forward to. You have hit the nail on the head by saying your home embarrasses you, even to close family. We are all here egging you on. I'm not sure whether I'd say that embarrasses me. I don't think anything about it when some people... It's all dependent upon who the people are. So my dad comes round. I don't think anything about it. I've got some certain friends who really know me well, and I don't mind at all. I could list off names of people who I'm quite happy if they come into my home when it's untidy, because they know me and I get on very well with them and they know me so well. Whereas other people, I don't think they do know me so well. That might be family members or it might be friends that I've had for quite some time. And the really interesting thing is, sometimes I have thought about this and thought to myself, like for instance, one of my daughter's violin teachers. When you go to that person's house, there is stuff piled everywhere. Piles of music books mixed in with instruments, mixed in with stuff, mixed in with papers. And I go into that room and what I feel happy, relaxed and comfortable, because I feel like it's him. That is his home, that is his place, and he is welcoming me into that place and home. Whereas if it was somewhere that was very minimalist and sterile and showed nothing about that personality, do you see where I'm going with this? I feel like I warm to him actually, because he kind of lays himself bare. This is his home, this is his house, and take it or leave it. That's where you're going to sit while your daughter's playing the violin. Take it or leave it. This is me. there's this sort of really nice confidence about it and relaxed approach about it. It's a bit like what I said to you before about how if my friend comes round and they put their feet on the sofa, I'm pleased to think they feel relaxed. And I'd probably sit with my feet up in this house that I'm just saying, whereas some other homes, they have no personality there. They have absolutely nothing to see what that person's personality is. I don't know. I'm waffling now. Let me know if you've got any clue about what I'm waffling on about. Stephanie Harries says, "Hi, I'm Steph from Carlisle, Cumbria. My dad and stepmum live in Norwich, so I spent quite a few weeks a year there growing up. I find your Norfolk accent quite comforting. I haven't visited for a few years as Dad comes and visits me and my family, but it would be nice to come for a trip soon. Maybe a nice caravan holiday at Great Yarmouth or Cromer with the kids." So I did reply to Steph, and that's really nice that you've told me this, Steph. My thoughts on this are that Great Yarmouth is calling you. Great Yarmouth is calling you and your family. There's so much for you to do in Great Yarmouth is just a fantastic place for families. Your children will have fun, you'll have fun, relaxed holiday, cheaper than other places you could go to. And as one of our members of Parliament has recently said, it's the UK's best holiday destination for family fun. So please come and visit. Could you let me know, Steph, have your children as yet been on the world famous snails? Because if they haven't, they'll absolutely love it. All of my family love the snails. I've been on the snails several times with my mum. We love the snails. All right, next comment is for Mikas Cheest, is it? Mikas Cheest. Hi from Colorado. First video I've seen from you, and I'm excited to catch up on all your hard work. Thank you for being here. And Rebecca Corsa Wallace says, "Wow, Emma, you're so close to the 3,000 subscribers. Well deserved. Love your vlogs." Nana Tracy says, "House coming on great. The tea room looked lovely." Yeah, it really was. I'm going to go back there. And Miranda Friday says, "My brother used to jog on the spot at home and make up steps before he took running." So a couple of updates on my step count. So mixed success. I've had a couple of days where I've spent the whole day and only on 1,000, and I've had to go out for ages in the evening, and it's getting later and later and later to try and get steps. Then I come back in and I'm running up and down on the spot in my garden. Today I tried to get some steps in earlier, went on a walk, but I'm on 7,000. So the thing for me is, some days I'm getting way over 10,000. Some days I'm not quite hitting it, but that's okay. You're not going to have every single day where you're going to be exactly where you want. It's absolutely okay. So I think if anyone else is doing any sort of challenge like this or thinking about doing a challenge, if you don't achieve what you're set out to do, I think often so many of us just think, well, I only got 6,000 that day, so that's the end of that. I'm not doing that anymore. No, don't do that. Just say, okay, well, that was one step back, but tomorrow will be 2 steps forward. Carolyn says, "You have done tons of great decluttering. It's just amazing how many items were in your cute home." Now, Carolyn, thank you. And I've got some more good news. This is getting to be like the vlog of good news. But the good news is that I got an email from the charity shop the other day. You know, where I take all my things, all my donated items. And they sent me an email saying thank you very much for my donations. I think it's because my husband took a few more bags in that were in his boot. And my initial thought was, oh, I must have got rid of some really good things when I read the email. But then I thought, no, don't be silly, Emma. I got rid of all the things that I was happy to get rid of. But the email says various things about paying tax and so on, but it says, "I am pleased to tell you that your goods have raised a further," drum roll please, a further £110.66. And they're going to reclaim an extra £27.66 in gift aid. So I was really, really pleased. All that stuff that they've sold of mine, and they've made over £100. I was really pleased about that. So that's very, very good news. Helen P says, I'm watching this video and thought you looked like Mary Poppins in reverse. You're putting all those clothes in the drawer under your bed. It's never ending. Karen says, hi, I'm Karen from Chelmsford. I love watching your videos and sometimes I listen to them on my day off, which encourages me to do housework. Oh, that really pleased me. I'm glad about that. I feel like if I'm helping someone else and you're all helping me by these lovely encouraging comments. Louise Tilbrook says, I'm a newbie here. Louise from Adelaide, South Australia. Oh, I read a book when I was in high school that was set in Adelaide. I play ukulele too. If your uke is a concert restring, it with a low G, it didn't cost me anything. I also play along to an English group on YouTube called Uke Talk. I don't drive anymore, so I can't get to a group. I've been enjoying your videos and I also watch Remy Clog. Lovely, thank you, Louise. You'll have to upload a video of you playing something on your page and then we can go and listen. Dave Wall posted a good comment here. Very helpful comments. The creepy Italian doll may be La Befana. She drops gifts down the chimney on January the 5th for Epiphany and flies away on a broomstick. I'm from Vancouver in Canada, but originally from London. I've been thinking a lot about the book your daughter was reading at school. I think she's very fortunate to have a mum like you. However, there are probably a lot of other girls who don't have the same loving family and the schools have to do it. At what point is it too early for those girls to start learning about inappropriate relationships? We all want our children to be children forever. However, some children don't have this. And where do they learn? Sometimes it's easier to introduce it in a novel than speak in real life terms. And I do agree on some of that. So I can remember when my daughter was very small, she'd got the traditional Ladybird book of Rapunzel. I think it was Rapunzel, or maybe it was the Beauty and the Beast one. Maybe the Beauty and the Beast. Well, anyway, one of the characters dies. And I can remember saying to the teacher how we don't read that page because we didn't want to upset our daughter. And so my daughter was probably 3 then, 4. And so the teacher said, well, actually, that's one of the best ways to read it, to read about it, because it means that children start understanding about topics like that, but in a fairy tale book. And I reflected on what she said, and I thought, actually, she's right. So I do understand what you're saying with that, Dave. So I replied to Dave and just said, good point. We do have La Befana visit our house, so we do know about her. So that possibly is La Befana. I think we put her in the Halloween bag because she certainly looks like that. Then I said, I know what you're saying, but sadly there'll be all sorts of going on. So, I said that there's going to be children that are being emotionally abused at 6. And, all sorts of things that children have to experience. But I don't feel the answer is because there are other children experiencing that, then we have to, or dealing with that we have to push that on other children. It's a little bit like in junior school, we used to get letters home that said, don't allow your child to go on TikTok, don't allow your child to go on all these different social medias, which we never did. And then some of the lesson plans, which are totally inappropriate, I spoke to the teacher about, and he said, well, they see all this on TikTok. And I thought, well, talk about a contradiction. You're telling everyone so I said, well, my child doesn't go on TikTok, and she hasn't got a Facebook account because she's only 9, she's only 10. And he said, well, we've got other children that have got TikTok accounts. We've got other children that are on Facebook and they see all this. So didn't quite follow that. So Dave did reply and said, I didn't realise your child was 8. For some reason I thought she was quite a bit older, in secondary school. My reply was geared towards older children who unfortunately will be exposed to unhealthy examples of relationships. Not having the emotional experience to deal with these situations means happiness in later on in life. Very articulate in the way that you write, Dave. As I said, your daughter's very lucky to have a good mum and dad that can guide her. I remember your mum saying it would probably go over her head. And she obviously has a lot of experience as she raised you in who you are. Yeah, thank you for that. This makes a good point. Yes, she is older than that. She is older than 8. But I was just trying to make the point that it seems that these certain subjects and certain topics are pushed on children younger and younger and younger. And at the moment, it's 11, and then next year it'll be 10, and then it'll be 9. And then well, I'm not sure what will happen. But thank you for that comment. Cynthia says, I just realised how much I like that built-in china cabinet or hutch in your lounge. Do you remember we had this conversation before? Because everyone kept talking about a hutch, and I had no idea what they were talking about. In England, we don't have hutches indoors because the only type of hutches that we have are rabbit hutches. So when people were talking about my hutch, I was like, I'm really not sure what they're talking about. So Cynthia said, it's very lovely. Curious, do you and your husband only have one drawer under the bed? No, we've got 2 drawers under the bed. They are very deep drawers. And thank you for the comment about my hutch. We designed that and had a carpenter put it in for us. Carolyn says, here in Georgia, I don't own a hat, scarves and or gloves. Now, given Carolyn doesn't own a hat, scarf or gloves, doesn't seem to have any jumpers or a coat, it's clearly sunny all year round, so I think we should all go on holiday to Georgia. Carolyn, how can that be? Brooke says, I'm jealous, Carolyn. What part of Georgia do you live? And Carolyn says, I'm in a suburb of Atlanta, more on the south side of the state. Aren't there several places called Atlanta? Or maybe I'm thinking of Atlanta City. Brooke says, I've been to Atlanta twice, usually on the north side when not in the city. As Midwesterners, we loved Mary Mac's Tea Room. Have you been? Mary Mac's Tea Room. That sounds good. That rhymes. Brooke says, weight training, even small amounts, is very beneficial as we age. Also helps me strengthen muscles in my back, neck and shoulders that I don't often use. Brooke says that her mum was about my size when she was my age, and she struggled to keep the weight off and was exercising until she was in her 50s. Yeah, problem is, it's all about how much you eat and how much you exercise, isn't it? And I've done a lot less exercise because I'm no longer doing the school runs and I'm eating the same amount. Carolyn says those jaws are mighty packed. Kirby says, hi, I like your channel. Have you seen the other similar content called Peeling Away the Clutter? No, I haven't, but I have talked about layers, haven't I? So it sounds like they might be doing a similar sort of thing. Then Esther says, I'm here to say it again, you need better storage in your home. 2 drawers for your everyday items is not enough. I would consider myself pretty minimal with clothing, but I still use 5 drawers and probably 4 feet of hanging space. I can't imagine the frustration of dressing in the morning, digging through those drawers. I open 1 drawer for undergarments, another 2 for pants, 1 for athletic wear and another for socks. All my tops are hung. I can't imagine them jumbled together. Maybe a trip to IKEA to find drawers that would fit in your built-in closet. Or can you use the dresser for the playroom? Now, the restriction that I have is in the loft conversion. We are restricted in some parts of that by the roof. So all my going out clothes and smart clothes are in the wardrobe in the spare room. I don't very often go there because I don't very often wear smart clothes or going out clothes, but that's where they are. But I've no space for other furniture in the bedroom. There are some drawers, there are 3 drawers built in to where the the chimney fire area would have been. So there are some built-in cupboards, drawers there. There are 3, but they got a lot of books in. So I really need to get rid of the books and then put some clothes in those. That's why it goes back to me thinking I need to start at the top of the house and work down. As I'm recording this, it's actually lunchtime and I'm so disappointed because I was invited to a meeting where I had to present at a board, and I joined the Teams call and waited in the lobby, and then by the time, obviously they're usually behind schedule, so then by the time I joined, I did my presentation, someone else did their presentation, and then the board asked us questions and they discussed it, and then someone else kind of did a bit of you know, this is the high level overview that Emma's giving, a high level overview that another colleague's giving, and this is what we're doing in terms of the detail. And so I listened to that, and the time was going on and on and on. And I then heard my husband had said, oh, about taking me out for lunch. And I was so looking forward to that. And I heard him call up, well, I can't turn my camera off and shout down, I'll be 5 minutes. So I waited and waited and moved all my afternoon meetings back to say, look, I'm going to get lunch, and moved all the appointments back. Went downstairs, and it was strange because, like, the key was still moving in the lock. So I thought my husband had gone outside. So I looked in the back garden, and then I looked in another room, and then I looked outside in the garden and realised the car had gone. And I called him, and he said, oh, because it had been so long, he'd gone out to get lunch. I was so disappointed because obviously when you're stuck on a call and the call's gone over, I can't sit and text, I can't send a message, and I can't, you know, shout down to say I'll be 10 minutes. So that was a real disappointment. So I've got a few more meetings this afternoon, which not feeling particularly motivated about now because I was so looking forward to that lunch. And then I need to work a little bit this evening, so that'll be when my daughter's in bed. Then Saturday I also need to work because, not for long, probably only a couple of hours, but I need to still catch up on a number of different things. I've been so pulled in the direction of job 2 today. There's stuff that I still need to do for job 1. So I need to kind of go back and make sure that I'm on top of everything there. And then on Sunday we've got Remembrance Day. So I'm in the process of organising that. And I'm also in the process of taking all my girl guides to go and see Moana. And of course trying to organise that because we don't want to pay for tickets and then not have the children available. So I've put a notice on our social media page to say please let me know by the end of today if you'd be interested. So if we don't go with guides, I was going to go with my daughter anyway, but that seems that everybody, all the other leaders are available. So, and another leader will do all the paperwork. So I just kind of do more of the communicating with parents and booking the tickets, that sort of side of it. So we do work quite well, me and the other leader. But I mean, there should actually be 4 leaders, but one's not there very often. You know, not kind of every week. Might do like 4 weeks in a row, but then miss 2 weeks. And then the other leader, she's there every single week without fail, but she doesn't organise anything. So I, for example, did ask if she could look into a climbing wall or swimming with the girls. And what she did was went online and got me the email address and gave me the email address. It was so funny. And then we were talking the other day and saying about there's a sleepover which is organised by another guiding group. And so I was saying to the other main leader about how, oh, that'd be good if we could do that. And then the lady who does not do anything in terms of organising sessions, she said, oh, come on, Emma, you've got your licence. Why don't you organise it? You don't it doesn't have to be dependent upon another group. And I just looked at her in shock. And I was like, I've got 2 jobs. I'm mum. I do this, and this. No, I'm not going to be also organising that. Otherwise, it's just never ending with the things that people expect you to do, and they want you to do it all, and they don't want to do anything. I'm nearly towards the end of my video. And before I go, I have gotten a bit of a muddle with my top tips, because I've been thinking about top tips. I've been, for winter and for Christmas, I've been doing the top tips. So then I've been forgetting to talk about them on my videos. So please excuse me if I've already given this top tip, but it's not on my list and I can't find it on a video where I have. So my top tip for today's video is to have a conversation with somebody now in the next few days to talk about Christmas and to say to them, oh, how about we give the gift of time in January? So I've already done this top tip, and that's why I got a bit confused as to whether I had talked to you about it. But I sent her a message on Messenger and just said, we've all got quite a lot of things, and what I'd really love is for us to do something together in January. We don't want the children to miss out, so we'll still sort something out for the children. But for us adults, how about we go for a drink somewhere or get lunch together or something like that? And she came back and she said, that sounds a fantastic idea. So I'm very pleased about that, because this friend is very thoughtful, but she does buy lots of stuff, whether it's like notebooks or pens or notebooks or pens. And so it'll be really nice to go somewhere together and spend time with each other. So that's my top tip for today's video. So thank you very, very much for watching my video, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye! What about shadow?